You've been doing plumbing for 20 plus years?
20 plus years. Something inside me said, no, this is the move. Like, become a plumber.
You're a master?
I'm a master.
You're a master plumber now.
Master number 16316. It is just a different breed of worker that we have now. In a sense, have to be treated with gloves at times. They're told plumbers make big money, so they come in and they think that they're supposed to be making all of this money right off the bat.
But they don't understand.
It takes time.
Backtrack. What is up, everybody? We are back. It's been a while. We are in the backyard of a Portuguese man in the middle of the city.
We got the Uvish back there.
You got the Uvish. No port wine, though. It's all good.
I quit drinking. I'd have a bunch out here, but this would end quickly.
And I guarantee people are going to be watching from the windows and like, what the fuck is going on?
Guaranteed.
Hey, follow Too Legit if you're watching, okay?
For sure.
We got a very special guest, a very good friend of mine, Brian Couto.
Thank you.
I just call him Couto. I never call him Brian. I just call him Couto.
A lot of people do.
Everybody calls him Couto. Brian, welcome.
Thanks you very much.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Alex, man, Tiago, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. He reached out to me, and I wasn't aware of what these guys were up to, but they're up to a lot, and it's pretty cool to be a part of. I appreciate it.
You say it's legit?
It's too legit.
Oh, man, I'm here all night. So, Brian, pretty much, we talk about people. I don't want to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So kind of tell us how this all started for you. Your parents are immigrated from the islands,
right? And
then you're a plumber.
Correct.
You've been doing plumbing for 20 plus years.
20 plus years. Yeah.
And so how that kind of start? Was it something where you inherited from a family member, or was a peak of interest for you?
Honestly, kind of a funny story, I guess. So I did go to trade school. I went to Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School. Shout out to Diamond.
Shout out to Diamond.
For sure. They're doing good things over there. But so I started out over there. My brother-in-law, who's older than me, he was a machinist. So I was intrigued by it. Both of my sisters went to Durfee. So I was really the first kid that was going to Diamond out of my family, my immediate family. So my brother-in-law, Mike, was telling me all about it. Piqued my interest. So out of cuss, I signed up for Diamond. I got into Diamond and I signed up for machine shop. Yeah. Which I did for 4 years. I did precision machining. After that, I worked in the field for a while until I was 19. I say a while, but back then it felt like a year or two. It was so long, So I did pretty well, I'd say. But basically, all the machines and everything started going to China, sadly. Yeah. Manufacturing and everything started shutting down. This was early thousands. Showing my age, if the hair didn't.
The gray beard didn't show.
Yeah, right. So, I couldn't find work. Honestly, I was putting in applications with experience that was only showing a year or two as a machinist. I was young, and I was getting real low on a totem pole offers at Johnson & Johnson, Gillette. You guys messed up, by the way. So, I took a roofing job making some cash, and I won't say the company's name. And now
bleep it out.
Yeah, we'll bleep. Well, it was. So, making some cash, collecting as well because I was unemployed. And I roofed for, I'd say 9 months through the winter, through the rain. Oof. Brutal. I will say big respect to roofers out there. I mean, anyone in the trade, first and foremost, anyone who works with their hands, not that people who don't shouldn't be respected, but, we get it, right?
Yeah.
So, it was just brutal work. Had some fun, met some crazy characters, but I had basically had enough. I was like, man, I got to find something else. What is going on, and my father was, he was a craftsman. He was a master carpenter. So he was like, hey, what's up? What's your move? You're going to be a roofer? My father was pretty tough, So I remember one day, a friend of mine who actually messaged me today on Facebook, Josh Jacob, was like, dude, you should come work for this company I'm working for. My buddy John Albanaz owns a company.
Johnny Albanaz.
Johnny Albanaz.
I love that guy.
My man, yeah, he's a man. He's a legend. He's like a second father.
He is OG, bro.
He really is. He's a master plumber. He's been doing it a long time. But he was partners with my cousin Larry Couto.
Okay.
So I came in the door through John and his people with Josh. Started working. Then I got paired up with Paul Albanaz. I was a helper under Paul Albanaz. He was at this time a journeyman plumber. So when I heard the term, I was like, journeyman plumber, like, whoa, like what's the story? And he told me like back then it was 3 years, a 3-year program. Says, you get your apprenticeship, you work under a journeyman for 3 years, and you can go and take a test, become a journeyman. Yep. And then we all work under a master. And I was like a Star Wars fan at the time, So I was like, say what? I was like,
we have a new sponsor this week. This episode is brought to you by Field Pulse. That's pulse, like finger on the pulse. Field Pulse is the all-in-one platform built for service professionals who are looking to grow their business and make their lives easier. From scheduling, customer management, to building estimates and sending invoices, Field Pulse puts on all the operations you need into one single platform. It's built specifically for guys like us to better manage teams, customers, and business. Head to fieldpulse.com to get started today. That's field, PULSE.com to get started today. This episode is brought to you by Nordeste Living, luxury stays in Nordeste San Miguel, Azores. Their upscale lodging melts away your daily stress, immersing you in tranquility, comfort, and breathtaking ocean and forest surroundings. For a serene escape like no other, visit nordesteliving.com today. That's NORDESTELIVING.com today.
it was really cool. And I remember I worked a Saturday with him and we put a boiler in, and at that time I didn't know the difference from a boiler, a water heater, what was going on,
Yeah.
But I remember he gave me cold hard cash and I seen him with the envelope that the customer paid him. And I was like, there's something to this. I'd never seen like this before. You know what I mean? Like it was quick. We were kind of in and out in a day, both hard workers,
Yep.
So yeah, that's basically when I decided. I had my older sister was in real estate, and there was some things going on around me that they moved to Florida, and some other things were pulling. Like kind of, I could have went and did that. Something inside me said, "No, this is the move. Like become a plumber." And then I didn't really know like if I was gonna have my own business or where the path would lead.
Yeah.
But I seen stability. I saw the money.
Okay.
And I seen that just with will and like wanting to learn that I could really like pass up a lot of people. I just kind of looked around.
Yeah.
And not to brag. Sometimes you
brag.
Just, yeah,
fucking
it was early
brag.
2000s. Hey, this is before the '08 crash, right?
Okay.
So I will say, like, it was the land of milk and honey. Like, we used to go and do jobs at places, not that company, for another company. We'd go do jobs at places and, we'd work, let's say, maybe 5-6 hours. And you'd get your slip signed off for 8 hours. And it was no
that's old
questions
school.
asked.
That's old
It's
school,
just
yeah.
the way things were, And then obviously a simpler time, I guess there was just more money and we definitely had longer breaks and things were just the way they were. It was a different time. The crash happened and everything started getting real budgeting
really
and
tight.
making sure where are you, where your hours, you're clocking
Yeah.
in, you're clocking out, things get a little different and whatever.
We're kind of going through it right now again, you know what I mean? At least for me. I know that you have, you're doing your own thing, but it's like really tough.
Right.
Like tight.
Yeah, crunching everybody and trying to squeeze the most out of everyone.
I get it. Economy and everything like that. It's really like not in a great position. So I understand from an owner's perspective, but I kind of wish it was kind of like the days past. You know what I mean, where you could just work for 4 hours and just kick back and relax in the van for 8.
I mean, there are studies, and I wish I could just like name them right now, but you could look into them. There's some studies that show that sometimes having a work ethic or a company ethic like that, where you're not really just squeezing on everybody, and some days are a little more of a grind and some days are a little more relaxed, and you go when you need to go.
Yep.
And you kind of chill when you can chill, I should say. And I do think that our company kind of runs that way. We do understand his demands, and when the demand's there, we got to move. But when it's not and we can kind of relax, like at the end of the day, you don't go to school to become a plumber and go through all of these hours to be treated just like anyone else who didn't go through all of this rigorous training. So to me, I think the plumbers do deserve a little bit of a break or a longer lunch, or sometimes, those little bennies for just being in the craft that they're in.
Please clip that. I am pinning that on my profile. No, I feel like tradesmen don't really get enough respect. You know what I mean? Where I feel like it's definitely a dying career. You don't see a lot of people coming out of high school and college like, oh yeah, I want to be a plumber. I want to work my hands. Dude, it's tough. Waking up dumbass early in the morning, driving like, hour or two, and then just working your ass off. And like some people that can just like let's say work from home, just I wish I could plumb from home. I wish I could do that. That'd be so fucking nice. Just like
Virtual reality, maybe.
Virtual reality.
Oculus.
Yeah, I got you right now. But no, so it was all from just working with John Albanese, Paul Albanese. So you're a master?
I'm a master.
You're a master plumber now.
Yeah. Master number 16316.
Damn. You know there was a special day when he got your master's plumber when you do
And tell me
remember
this isn't weird. I'm born on March 16th, which is 316. So it was 16,
Oh.
316 was the number they
Yo,
handed
we gotta
me.
start making Couto 316.
Yeah, Couto
shirts.
316. Well, I have 316 records, but that's another podcast. No, but honestly, you're right about the tradesmen kind of like, we weren't getting respect, right?
Yeah.
But now I feel like it's you see a lot
Do you
of
see
people,
a tide turning?
a tide turning where a lot of people, when we were in high school, were told, go to college, separate yourself from the rest.
Yeah.
Well, when everyone went to college, it's very difficult now to separate yourself from the rest because basically everybody went that route,
Yep.
right? So not many people decided, like you said, to get into this grind, which as the years go by, if I can stay healthy, I look around and it's like the average age of plumbers, I think even now as I do get older, but I think the average age is like 52.
Yeah, it's old.
Right?
A lot of the older guys now where they took that route, from your generation, took the route of like going into plumbing, they're all becoming older, like close to retirement. But now when the next guys are up, it's not the same number. It's lower, but then that's why I feel like trades are turning the tide, but there's going to be that huge gap where it's like a lot of young guys have to fill in these shoes, and it's either make or break. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it before. Young guys like given the opportunity to run a job, and they just fold under pressure. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. So
It really is, and times have changed. I mean, I came from an era, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. I kind of like use Bill Belichick kind of like as a metaphor. Like we came from an era where you'd get yelled at, screamed at, called some of the worst names in the book, and you'd react and step up or step back. Where now it's like, God forbid, and not that you should treat people that way, but it is just a different breed of worker that we have now, in a sense, have to be treated with gloves at times.
like coddled. You want to say
I
it like
wouldn't say
that?
coddle, because I'm not really trying to shut down the youth. I do think, this is such an in-depth conversation. I think that it's a household kind of thing. Sometimes it's just leadership. The stern leadership we're American, right? Yeah. We have 3 square meals a day without having to worry about them and stuff. Like I was raised by immigrant parents that went through hunger and stuff where they realized it was survival. Yeah. We learned some things just because of mere survival. And if they could change it, I'm sure they would, right? So it's like, my daughter isn't going to be raised the same way I was raised, and just because, it's different now. We're set up a little different, right? We're not searching for meals. So I feel the youth, the culture has just been groomed a bit to be able to get what they want when they want. They're told plumbers make big money, so they come in and they think that they're supposed to be making all of this money right off the bat.
But they don't understand.
It takes time.
It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Because I think that's the problem. It's like the entitlement piece where it's like they feel like they deserve it just because. Whereas like the former years, it was like there was a hazing, but it's like you kind of earned your keep to some degree. Do you think there's like, not to say hazing should exist, but do you think that sort of weeded out the weak? Like, is there like any argument to not to keep hazing? But this is a conversation I feel like comes up a lot in the trades. Like, is it something that shouldn't have sort of been done away with, or is there how do we feel about that overall?
I have a good friend, Joe Faria. Shout out Joe Faria, that says they said stop bullying. Right, but then you had kids running around thinking they're dragons now, right? So, but nothing wrong with that. Hey, God bless you, good. Nothing wrong with dragons. God bless you.
We do have fun with kids thinking they're dogs, though.
Yeah, it's a rough life. But yeah, no, I in our trade, it's tough because at any moment someone can like literally bust a knee or like lose a finger, right? It's like so. It can be treacherous, but yeah, you got to be tough out here, So it's you do got to be and it's like sometimes they do get a little soft, or they don't really realize how hard it is to go out, get work, keep the work coming in, and make sure that the bread's on the table every week, week in, week out. Yeah. And it's not just you wake up in the morning and someone's just going to hand you money. That's not reality. So we've had, not to say issues, but we've had some of the youth that have come, worked with us, maybe left, worked with others, see kind of how it is out there, and they make their decision, but at the end of the day, you got to work for somebody, right? So I think it's about, you got to put the work in. I always tell people the time's going to go by no matter what you do, whether you start your apprenticeship now or 3 years from now, that time is going to go by. Why not do something with it, 100%.
That's kind of like my position. I started plumbing when I was like 25, 26. And I wish I did it sooner, but I can't redo the pass because I know that my brother's probably gonna be watching this episode, and he's gonna be like, "I fucking told you so, T. Fucking, you could have been working with me, Piff, Couto, everybody, but instead you wanted to be a chef."
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that.
No wrong with that, but that's like the sort of thing where I'm like realizing now it's like the big thing is like, put in the work, and I've seen it a lot, especially kids that come out of trade school. Now they get like automatic like 3 tiers. They get the 3rd tier automatically, and they just have to go to school for 2 more years, and they feel that going back to that sort of entitlement. They're like, "Oh, I'm a tier 3 plumber." I've had this argument before in my past companies, where you would have these young kids come in, and they would be tier 3, tier 4, and then they would try to like boss you around, and then they were like, "Well, I got tier 4. What do you got?" It's like, at first, I just kept my mouth shut, but then now I'm like, "Hey, buddy, go fuck yourself." That's it.
And also, there's a level of like you learn stuff in school, but what you learn in real life, like in the actual job in the workplace, is like
school is in a controlled environment. Yeah. That's what it is. It's so different when you actually go out to job sites. Like, let's say you have you're on a job site and like homeowners like freaking out. My water pipe just burst and flooded basement. Who's going to handle it better? The high school kid or a guy that's been doing it for a while? That's been out there. You know what I mean?
And also in a high school setting, right? Like the pipes and stuff you work on are all clean. They're not rusted. They're not corroded. They weren't done by someone who didn't really know what they're doing. And now you're trying to correct someone else's mistake. Like that problem solving ability, you don't really, like you learn it a little bit in school. Like you learn the fundamentals. But like that real like nitty gritty stuff is what you learn.
When you're pressed.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same pressures and like almost like whatever, like becoming a diamond, as cliche as that is, right? Like,
yeah.
What do they say? Like experience. No, good decision making comes from experience. Experience comes from bad decision making. Like you got to make a bunch of mistakes, mess up a bunch, realize how to not do that again the next time. But truly, like if you're into something and you have the passion for it, it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
But I've met a bunch of plumbers who've decided they were gonna be plumbers like years after they began plumbing. Like there's a moment when you become a plumber. It happens for everyone at different times.
What was your moment?
Ah, man, I
when
remember.
You like really knew, like, holy
I think
shit.
I was like, I like my hands were like just green from like working with a lot of copper. I think, not to say like I specifically remember, but I think I want to say like I was like out somewhere and I just really didn't care. It was like running my company. Like at every moment, I'm like a business owner of a plumbing company. Like I may be having to go out on a Saturday night. I may have a call right now at this moment that cancels my concert plans because a good client of ours needs their hot water tonight. And if I say no to them, it's almost to a point like, oh, really? I give you all that work. Yeah. And you're going to say no to me and leave me and my family with, well deserved. They can call anyone else. So it's like you become it. You like, it is what I am, and it's probably, other than being a father, the greatest part of me, I feel, is like being a plumber. Like there's a pride that I feel, like all the years have made me like, I've handled situations sometimes that sometimes people look at me and it's like, and there's others who do it too. Any plumber, honestly, is if you can do what you can do and do it right and have it holding and protecting people's safety, that in and of itself is already like, almost like superhero standard in my mind. Like shout out to all the plumbers out there. You know what I mean?
Matt Benavides.
Yeah, all of us out here. Seriously, from the apprentice to the guy who wants to be an apprentice to the guy who never even. I know a plumber that I think is probably the best plumber I've ever met in my life. He's definitely top 3, and he's not even apprenticized. He has nothing. He's just been doing it for years and years. He gets the money because of his experience, and that's that. So like, don't let that hold you up either. Like if you don't have the cards or if you're not a citizen or whatever, like just dive in and do it. That's with anything.
Hell yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about too. Because Phil always talks about
him. I'm sure you do too. Yeah. I'm not a big name dropper.
No, we won't name drop this time around.
But it is no.
So when did you finally make that transition of like, all right, I'm going to stop working for somebody and now I'm going to own my own business? When did you make that transition?
So it got to a point where doing moonlighting, side work, things like that, I couldn't keep up any longer. I was getting home really, really late. It was beating me up. It's hard to say no to people when they know you know how to do something, right? Like you could be on vacation as a doctor and think you're on vacation, but if the woman delivers a baby on your resort and there's no doctor, and you're going to be an asshole if you say, I can't do nothing here. I'm on vacation.
I'm clocked out.
You know what I'm saying? So dude, there's been times where my neighbor lives right across the street, real nice man. I've come home from a long night of work and he's waiting outside for me and he's got a leak and I'm over there till 7:30 looking some stuff over. So it got to the point where I was very overworked. I was tired. And I had people around me who were business owners as well, giving me the nudge. And I said, I'm going to try it. You know?
Kind of like the first like kind of steps that you took, like, holy shit, like this is real, like I'm actually gonna do this. What was like your thought process throughout that whole entire thing?
I remember the year, it was like 2012. I remember that. I already had my name thought up months earlier. Finally got the logo made, all these little, like they say, the universe starts kind of piecing things together.
Lining up.
Yeah, people offering you work when they hear you thinking of it. All of a sudden, they're like, listen, I got this and I got that. So I had like a nice little pile up of some stuff I could get started with. I had no children, no mortgage, no debt. So I said, let's do it. And I remember like in those days, man, I was working. I had no idea what I was doing. No insurances, no lettered van, no website, working for cash. I remember the first year I did taxes, I was like, whoa, I spent it all. What am I going to do? That plagued me for a while. So definitely make sure your shit's straight right off the bat.
Do your taxes, people.
For real. Like put a third aside in a money market, let it grow, and then pay your shit. Yeah, I just got to the point that I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. And then once I started doing it, it wasn't like I was making like all this crazy money, like, whoa. And it was almost like all this power that I had was dangerous, of being able to just stay home when I wanted, and, putting myself in a lot of financial situations where I was living by the skin of my teeth, to be honest with you. But met a lot of people, networked, and I never said no to anything. I mean, I worked in Las Vegas, Orlando, San Antonio, Nantucket Island, overnight shifts. I did it all. I never said no. So like, I think like over the years, like I built a repertoire of like, hey, if he says it, he's going to be there. Like you can count on him. And that's,
yeah.
That's
would that hurt you though, in a way though? Like you always saying yes. Would that kind of hurt you in a way? Cause if you always said yes, like there's an opportunity, a chance where you miss out on other things in your personal life. Do you ever run that risk or no?
It's crazy. I'll say with work in an economy and in a country where you never know when things can go bad, you'd have to be very irresponsible to say no to work when you're getting paid very well. So I don't know if in 3 to 5 years we're in some sort of famine and there's no work and there's nothing.
Yeah.
So like I said, if someone's willing to give me buku bucks for something I can do, I'm going to do it as long as I can until the point that no longer exists. Did I miss a lot? Yeah. But again, I don't think I'd be at the point now. I don't think I would have built that repertoire of almost like Cal Ripken Jr. I don't know if you guys remember baseball back in the day, like the Iron Horse. Like that guy played every game.
Every game.
Like you knew he was playing.
Yeah.
So it was like.
So you just built that, like that, pretty much that standard of like, hey, listen, other plumbers, they might say no, but if you know me and you know my work, I know you're going to get a guarantee yes, no matter what, because you're just here to help people. And you are a good guy, Brian
I
Couto.
appreciate that.
You are a great guy.
Listen, no, there's times, you get a call and you're tired or whatnot and you can't make it. But then if someone's like, oh, there's been plenty of times I have no heat. I have a 2-year-old kid in the house.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless I'm like at a wedding or something in some other place, you know what I mean?
In like a whole different country.
Yeah, but if I decided to just hang out and really lounge around and then someone calls me with a call like that, like, I'm going to go. I'm not going to guarantee I can fix it, but it would eat away at me if I didn't.
Yeah, I have that same fucking feeling, man. I especially when it comes to kids. You know what I mean? So I don't think I could ever do that. Like,
and then doing that for someone too, they talk. You know what I mean? They're gonna tell their cousins, they're gonna tell their friends, like, hey, when I needed this guy, he was there. So anytime plumbing comes up, it's like they say the best form of marketing is word of mouth.
100%.
Is that how like your business kind of grew? Was a lot of word to mouth?
100%.
Okay.
As of right now, my gray van is right back there. My business partner has a matching gray van. So we're Amaral Couto Enterprise. I make up the Couto
Here's the logo
aspect of Amaral Couto Enterprise. But we do a ton of work for Dunkin' Donuts, a few contractors. But we don't have our vans lettered at all because honestly, sometimes we have concerns of being overburdened with work. Because like you're saying, word of mouth, we feel we do good work. We have a good standard. We're good people. We're just. And we don't want to have to tell people no all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to like put my ad over here and advertise all this stuff. And then people call me and tell them I can't help them out.
Yeah, because at the end, when you have a lettered van, that's like a walking billboard.
Right.
And it's like, you can either get like a really great job or a job that's like, what the fuck, dude? So it's kind of, I understand that position too. So, but
that's a good position to be in though, where you're not even lettering your van because you're like, I already have so much and so much of my dream customers that why would I do that?
We're very fortunate. But I mean, we put the blood, sweat, and tears in.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, yeah. So like especially to some of the guys, guys talk in a van and everything. I tell them, bring everybody back down to earth. It's like, guys, these things, we didn't get what we got from a handout. I'll tell you that. I'm the first one in my van in the morning. I'm the first one jumping in the trench with the grinder. Like, they all know it. Yeah. I would never make someone do something I wouldn't do myself.
And that's the making of a good foreman right there.
Appreciate that.
And because honestly, like, there's some foremen that is just a big iPad guys, they just look up Procore, and I don't even care. I'll say it on the record right now. You and my brother are the only like two foremen that I personally know that would go into the trenches with the guys and work side by side. You wouldn't think anything, like, you're not bigger than them or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say that on the fucking record right now. I don't give a fuck. But
my man,
shout
out Philly, Philly Furtado, the one and only, man. Miss you.
We're gonna have him on soon, and then we're gonna do a big episode. We're gonna have it in his basement. Couto's gonna bring his band.
We're getting into some conspiracy theories.
Oh, let's go.
Man. So besides the plumber, actually, quick thing. You do Dunkin' Donuts, and your dad, right? He works for a company that does Dunkin' Donuts too, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you know Homeland Builders.
Yeah.
They used to have like contracts with
Yeah, so they're all splintered out of Homeland Builders.
Yeah. Oh, you guys work with them too?
So Horatio's, who's the installers,
okay,
they splintered off of Homeland Builders. Sylvester DeRosa works for me. He used to work for Homeland Builders. So there's a bunch of those. Derek Cavallo that I work with, a bunch of them that are all still, that came from that tree. Yeah. Small world, huh?
Small world,
man.
dude. All right. Sorry, had to throw that jab in there because I do like Dunkin' Donuts. Yes. Brian, I know we really don't talk a lot, but everybody calls me the Donut Man. You know what I mean?
The Donut Man.
The Donut Man.
Oh, we have a lot in common.
Dude, I'll tell you right now.
What's your favorite donut?
Strawberry frosted, dude.
Strawberry frosted. That's a
plain.
Good one.
Plain
donut, strawberry frosted, no sprinkles.
No, do you say Jimmy's or sprinkles?
Well, I found out, I don't know if it's true, that Jimmy's actually is like a bad racial connotation to it. So I no longer say, I say sprinkles as feminine as I think it makes me sound. I don't want to, obviously.
I say Jimmy's all the time. I don't really care.
I don't know.
I'm so accustomed to it.
So
my wife,
that's a Fall River thing.
Yeah,
sure.
It definitely is. My wife was like, "Why do you say Jimmy's?" I'm like, "Because that's what they are. They're Jimmy's." She's like, "They're sprinkles."
Wait, why is it a bad thing to say Jimmy's?
Yeah, we can't say it on camera.
I might have to edit it. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying. It's just I heard that once.
Well, I've heard the same thing too. Yeah. It's actually bad. I don't want to say it out loud. We're gonna edit this.
It's out. Sprinkles from now on.
Just sprinkles. And then my second is you gotta go with the classic glaze. Classic glaze,
huh?
That's it. What's your go-to?
I used to be a big Boston cream guy.
I hate Boston cream.
Really?
I hate it.
Damn.
I hate anything that's filled, like any donut.
You hear that, Phil?
Yo, Philly loves chocolate frosted.
Yeah, I was gonna say chocolate frosted for sure. If that's number 2. I'll smash 2 or 3 of those right in a row. We get free donuts and break every day at 9. It's bad. Because I'll be like, no, I'm not doing it. Then you walk by and you can just smell it.
Especially when they're fresh baked. The guys at my company now, they call me the donut man because I eat like at least 2 to 3 donuts every day.
Nice.
No, it's not.
You're young.
Tell them how you started the year, Tiago. What was your New Year's resolution this year?
My New Year's resolution was to stop eating donuts. And the second day, I ate 2 donuts.
One for each day. The day he missed. I was like home. I used to love beer and donuts. I used to tell people all the time, bro.
At least that's the big thing for me. I don't really drink a lot of beer. I drink a lot of tequila, which is even worse. But at least I don't get bloated.
It's actually probably better for you.
Yeah. I just don't drink as much. You know what I mean? Beer, it's like once in a great while. Tequila, maybe every weekend. You know what I mean? So
I quit drinking. I'm probably over a year and a half now, so.
Oh, nice. Good
shit.
Yeah,
we used to go,
Yeah, I do know.
Him, bro.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how many times me and Phil would be working down over here. We used to do some work for Jerry Donovan.
Yeah.
Down over at the Eagle and whatnot. And Tequila Lime had just opened up. Mm-hmm. So he and I would go for lunch, and lunch wouldn't end. We would 1:30, we'd be like, another shot, dude. We ain't going back to work. So like I said, that power of not having someone to answer to. Yeah. It takes a little while to really realize how bad you could really get yourself in a position. Right? Yeah, you got to be on top of your shit. You got to come home, bang the estimates out, send the invoices out, make the phone calls, order the material. The minute you think you can, that's one thing about this, bro. It's you can't stop.
Nah.
It's scary.
When did you start expanding your team though? Like when you started having other people like do like the estimating, or do you actually still do that to this day?
So I do the estimating.
Okay.
So we expanded. It was Peter and I that really mainly did mostly everything, work and all. Sylvester worked with us, but he was mainly subbed out.
Yep.
So he'd travel and work for LC Mechanical, my cousin Larry and Aaron. So it was Peter and I doing most of the stuff. Once we started joining in with other contractors, we had more Duncans to do. Mm-hmm. We spread out a bit. We have a couple of kids, one from Diamond, another one from Somerset. We started padding out, getting other vans. But it was when it was the work, then the estimating and all that started really getting my kid sister, Kerry. She helps me with payroll. She does the payroll for the guys. And Peter's fiance, Goretti, she does all the bookkeeping. She does emails back and forth with the other offices, scheduling. She keeps that all in line. Okay. And our taxes. She's our accountant. Yeah, we keep everything pretty much in-house amongst us. And so far, so good, you know. I don't know if we were to say like growth is in like the future as far as like getting larger, and I guess we always could, but
is that like when do you see that as like a goal, or like what kind of goals do you have for your business?
The thing is with this, it's such a beauty because I mean Dunkin's like one of the biggest restaurant chains.
Hey, Dunkin, sponsor us, please.
Yeah, honestly.
Fine, pull some shrinks, please.
No, yeah, listen, we'll get some donuts out here at least. We're going to get some free donuts. I got you guys next time. But obviously, like, it's something to us that doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. So as long as we kind of do what we're supposed to do and do it right, we should always have that. Now, they're nationwide, right? So, like, if we get Connecticut licenses, New Hampshire licenses, Maine licenses, then theoretically, I mean, we could grow as large as we really wanted to if we had pieces in place, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Whether that's what's going to happen, I don't know. We're content kind of what's going on. Obviously, not to say you get bored, but you want a challenge, right? It's like, give us some more, Let's see.
Is like Dunkin' a lot of like just copy and paste, or is like kind of everyone's like just a little bit different?
They're a little different, but mostly they're all kind of the same.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, where the snags, I would say, come... and I might get in trouble for this, is the inspectors and the towns.
Yeah, they get
and
tough.
I would say, no, you know, with all due respect, it's more breaking down the code, and some like certain aspects of the code more than others, and deciphering the code. And we'll have one inspector that likes something done one way, and we go to another town, we're getting barked at by another inspector why we did it that way, and we're all, you know, working under the same code book. Yeah. And we don't have time to really like debate because these are like 2-week turnarounds. Mm-hmm. So I've caught myself having a kind of like, it's almost like politically having a really maneuver with the towns and the secretaries and really learn how to talk with them, how to get what we need out of them. It's honestly, it's painstaking.
Do you think getting on like the inspector's good side is actually like a key thing when like they first like come onto your job site? Like, let's say like, you know, it's a new inspector, you know, you're like, you know, kind of like shooting the shit with them, like being friendly. You think that's actually a key factor?
It's a huge factor. Yeah. I can't be everywhere, you know, and I've been doing it a long time, and I can't expect some guys that haven't been doing it a long time to kind of navigate the way I navigate. So I do feel that my inspections pretty much go pretty smooth. I can kind of look him in the eye and get where I want him to go and what I want him to look at, and I could catch his body signals, and I don't know. I've just been doing it for so long.
Yeah, don't look at this hanging pipe. That's not any hangers on it. Come here.
I always like, you know, I'll take them, I would say, to the more intricate part of the system and let them know that I know what I'm talking about, and then I feel like they kind of let their guard down a little bit. Yeah. But I do have some employees that we would think an inspection would be standard and something doesn't go right. And now, like, my schedule's all messed up. I got to stop what I'm doing the next day to go over to this town now and do some form of damage control. Mm-hmm. So like I said, you would think putting the pipes in is the easier part, but sometimes it's really...
It's more detailed than that. Mm-hmm. You know, my brother always says, like he does this, don't stress. It's just plumbing. It's
NSC,
just
baby, no stress crew.
He lives by that. He's like, guys, it's just pipes. Just pipes.
It's just pipes.
It's just pipes. Why are you stressing? Just pipes. But
Phil seems like a great foreman to have on the job.
Phil, Brian, you've worked with Phil multiple times, right? So you know how it goes.
He ran Babcock up in
Brookline,
for a long while. We were all under him, you know what I mean? And
I remember that.
Another case of he wasn't licensed at the time, and I was, and I did what he told me. You know what I mean? I knew what to do, and
because you had that respect. You had the respect. Like Phil was foreman, so you know he's calling the shots. I'm not going to step on anybody's toes.
100%.
See, I wish people could understand that. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes people like, you know, they're licensed, but there's another foreman there, hasn't been doing this for a while. This guy has, and he's like, well, I'm taking the job over now because seniority. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that. If the guy on the manifold is the foreman, that's who you report to. Simple. That's it.
I agree.
I am fucking on a tear tonight.
Yes, this man is.
I think
on
Brian Couto
fire.
just woke something up in me, buddy. I feel like I'm getting in trouble, but it's all good.
It's the outdoor setting.
Let's take a second to talk tools. Not power tools, but business power tools. Field Pulse is one of the game changers for contractors. We told you earlier that it helps manage schedules, customers, estimates, but there's so much more. Build your workflows the way you want to. Automatically send texts or emails to customers like when you're on the way, or if an invoice due date is coming up. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, electrical, you name it, Field Pulse is built to work like you do. Head to fieldpulse.com to get started growing your business. URL is in the show notes. That's field, PULSE.com.
We're actually going to take a little bit of a left turn here. Perfectly fine, though. You have a band. You're a musician.
I am a musician.
Yeah, I had to pull that one out of you.
Yeah.
So, how did that start? Like, was it like kind of like a dare, like karaoke or something like that?
I mean, I always loved music. I was in a jazz band in middle school.
Oh, okay.
And everything. I played some drums when I was younger. But again, being raised by immigrant parents, like I didn't have the ability to go into music class or be put into these things that some kids get the ability to. So we had to do everything kind of ourselves. So I got more into like hip hop first, started like really writing. I used to like to rhyme a lot, freestyling. To this day, like I freestyle, go around and stuff. Now it's
we need some music.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hey, listen, I'm lethal. So just gravitated around musicians. Had friends that were in the trades, actually, some tradesmen that we got together with, and we had a band, Shadow Banks. We got on some stages, played in Providence. That was always a dream of mine, dude. I was like, well, I played drums in a psychedelic garage rock band. It was like,
hell yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty badass, dude.
Definitely tripping on LSD,
no,
bro.
I mean, I don't know. No. But we had some fun, man. We had a really good time. And so now, like, it's always there. It's one of those things, like 2 years could go by and I won't do anything musically. And then something else will kind of pull me back in, whether it's a band that wants me to perform with them. Like I'm getting down with Get Lucky this Friday, the 6th, a day of Portugal. Jeff reached out to me and asked if I wanted to get down. And we're actually showcasing 3 of my songs, which I'm super proud of and excited for.
We gotta clip this. Make sure this is the first clip we've ever put out.
Hell yeah. No, I appreciate the support. But yeah, it's fun. I've been hacking around at guitar. I want to now at my age. I'd like to get more into like like folk rock, more like rock kind of stuff as opposed to like hip hop. It's still there. Yeah. But it's tough subject matter. I'm running a business and buying stocks. Like it's kind of hard to like write hip hop songs about that.
Like,
but,
let me just.
Yeah, man. I mean, there might be a market for it. You never know.
There is a market for it. I've seen a guy, I think his name is Tom McDonald. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He raps about pretty much like woke, fake news.
Political guy?
Yeah, I think you've heard of him. He actually raps really well. And that's like something you just like, you can make a rap out of anything.
Yeah. I want to do like dad rap.
Dad rap?
Yeah, call it like a whole genre. Like my buddy Cass Santos, he's a producer as well, and he same as me. Like he's got a song about like life insurance and like crazy stuff. And
that's some dad shit.
Yeah. Like that, we call him the Black Ned Flanders. He's in a horseshoe league and shit. He's the man, my boy. But so yeah, I do think there might be a market. Guys who are in my age that probably would be like, oh, wow, this guy's talking about buying real estate or whatever. As long as it sounds cool and rhymes cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not in clubs anymore. Like. I'm not out chasing women, so it's like...
You're a good guy.
Well, hey,
good guy, local guy.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you got to be. I got a daughter up there. She need a role model,
So, what was the biggest crowd that you ever did, though?
Dude, honestly, it was in Nordeste, and the Festa de Nordeste, which is... They have every year. I think they have up to 7,000 or 10,000 people. Wow. I want to say that they get down there and... Rest in peace, my boy Manel. But he performed on the island a lot. He's on RTP still to this day a lot. And he always had like faith in me and stuff in my music. And he always like brought me along with him and was like, hey, you know what? We're going to perform in front of like 7,000 people. Watch this. Yeah.
Yo, dude, nerve-wracking, right?
Hey, man, I don't know. Sometimes like once you know how it is, once you're just like kind of like this, I would say. Like, I always get some sort of nerves or butterflies, even before you guys came over. It's like almost like this, like, should I just cancel last minute? I don't know if like you guys understand what I'm getting at, but it's like, I don't know if it's a mental thing, but there's like this jitter. So like, even that, like, yeah, like this jitter, then you get up there and it just, everything changes. You're like ready for it. Yeah. You're having fun. You see the reaction of the feed off the crowd. And some of the best moments of my life, man, are being on the stage. It's just unexplainable. Yeah, man.
7,000 people. I shit my pants so fucking quick.
Bro, badass. I was like throwing shirts out and shit. Hey, but you want to talk about going from like sugar to shit? Like right after the show, it was like, we watched like half of another band. We had to leave. I couldn't fit in the car. And I was now sitting outside on a curb. It was like pouring rain. And that was it. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I had to wait for like a car to pick me up and then go sleep in like a little dusty bedroom. And my night was over. Like nobody coming up to me like, yo, like I thought, you know what I mean? Like you just want some
Can I
people.
have your autograph?
Yeah, someone come up to you like the movie's like, hey kid, we're gonna sign you. None of that happened.
It's different now though, right? Like, because when did you do that concert?
That was in maybe 2018.
Oh, okay. So it's not too far. It's not too far.
No, you know.
Because the power of social media could have easily, like, you know.
Yeah, I think you know what it was. I've always been the type of, I would say, artist over musician where I would say shy in a sense. Maybe not when I'm performing, but I'm not the type to be like, hey, check out this, or like
so you
promoting.
Like, no.
Yeah, even like when we'd be out at someone's party and someone would put my song on, I would almost want to shut it off. It's a weird thing about me. I don't have like this gloatingness of like, yeah, that's my song. You guys dig this.
You're humble. You're humble,
yeah,
right?
almost like embarrassed. It's weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
that
like,
no offense, Brian. That is weird.
It is weird. Yeah, I don't think I've ever made like a piece of art that I was like so proud of that I was like, yeah, bump this shit. I know they think it's dope.
But it's still a good feeling though when people play it though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. I just went to a show, Empire of the Sun in Boston, and I came out. My buddy Victor was over there. I hadn't seen him in a while. He was out on the street. He brought his daughter there, and we're like, hey, what's up, dude? We're talking. And he's like, hey, man. He's like, I've been listening to the new shit, dude. He's like, pretty cool, bro. He's like, you know, from Fall River, like a couple guys doing that. It's like, it's cool to see. Keep it up. So I was like, piqued my interest. Like, oh, people do see that something's happening, kind of like, because it's me, a couple of my buddies, and like when you have a few people releasing stuff and promoting things, it's like, oh, there's like a little wave. And bro, I would love to be part of a Fall River musical movement. Are you shitting me? Whether it's in the background promoting or something, or helping guys get on stages and renting halls, or actually being on and being the entertainer, Fall River's lacking that, and I would 100% want to be a part of that.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Jeez, I thought about being a musician one time.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I used to play the drums. I was in the Portuguese band playing the trumpet.
Did you play the trumpet?
I did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. I played the trumpet, and I was in a Portuguese band. I was mid. I was mid. Playing trumpet's hard, dude. I don't know, because like.
Wait, how old were you when this? I've never heard about this part of his life.
See, he's embarrassed. He's talking about me that it's weird.
It wasn't an embarrassing time.
It
wasn't an embarrassing time in my life. Like trumpet, what the fuck?
Why?
You know what I mean?
Why?
Trumpet. Come on,
Miles Davis, bro.
I guess, but you know, nobody likes guys blowing. You know what I mean?
Hey, some people do.
Oh, nowadays, you know, nowadays. But yeah, I think it was in middle school. I think it was like 11, 12, something like that.
And then church too?
Yeah, I went to church.
Which church did you play for?
It wasn't a church. It was the band, the hall. I played for.
Necessary Deluge.
Yep, that was one I played for, and then there was another one too, right next to Kennedy Park. I forgot the name of it. It was so long ago, so I'm not.
Our Lady.
Our Lady of. It was like Our Lady of Fatima.
Dwelly Street over there where you guys lived over there. The church is gone now. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
We're on a church.
Oh no, yeah, I go to St. Michael's, so I
My
did.
daughter goes to St. Michael's.
Yeah. Great.
Love that place.
Yeah, the place is awesome.
Yeah.
So, but I forgot the band. I played for 2 different Portuguese bands. I forgot the churches I were at, but it doesn't really matter.
Oh, we gotta bring that part. You guys should start an intro where you're like,
dude. Let me tell you something. Once you stop playing trumpet, that's it. It's all lungs. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta use your fucking lips and you gotta use your tongue. You know what I'm talking about, Brian? And then you just gotta and it's all lungs. And shout out to my music teacher way back in the day, Mr. Bento, and he played trumpet too. Dude was a master. And I'm like, dude, I can never do what I did. I'm like, and I'll never forget something, and it still holds true to this day on anything I do, is that, listen, I was in the same position when you were at your age. And look at me now. You know, it was like a kind of like a humble brag, but it kind of like put me in a position where I'm like, dude, like anybody can do anything because they all had a starting point. You know what I mean? Podcasting, plumbing, marketing, photography. You know, there's a starting point for somewhere, and you know, sometimes people blow up really quick and get the hang of it really quick. Other times they need more time, but you know, I think that's just a life lesson that everybody needs to learn, and that's enough. That's enough talk from me because I'm gonna start getting emotional. I'm gonna start crying.
I like it.
But yeah, dude. But yeah, I played trumpet. I played drums. And then one day I just quit. I'm like, fuck this. I can't do this anymore. You know, I was like, it's not. I was also in a phase in high school where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This shit is not cool. You know, girls don't like this shit. So I'm like, fuck it. Listen.
Which is terrible.
But yeah, that's pretty much my music career. I've always thought about it because I do like producing, the producing aspect of it, like creating beats and shit like that, or just like, you know, just being a hype man. You know what I mean? Like hyping the crowd. Like, fine, let me be a hype man.
That'd be dope.
I would absolutely just like, you know, tell the DJ like, yo, play some Trap City, and then fucking absolutely
you dance around, or you do backup vocals? What are you doing?
I do both, guys. I'll do a crowd wave if I have to.
Listen, we might have to work on something.
Just like everybody jump, but like I have to lose at least like 100 pounds and stop eating donuts. Dude, are you kidding me?
Dude, you could get into this business venture with me.
Are we making it do it now?
Mosh fit. Mosh fit.
Mosh fit. Okay.
We wear weighted vests. You sign a waiver.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, great. Yeah. Someone just overdosed. Yeah, this is my neighborhood. I've been here literally in this plot of land, since I was 4 years old. 40,
no kidding.
40 years, I've been here. Downtown, Fall River Bay, I've seen some crazy shit down here, dude. I could tell you some real crazy stories.
What's the craziest thing you've seen?
Oh.
No name dropping, nothing like that.
The craziest thing I've seen. It's probably the woman that was thrown out of the window over here. We were kids riding around the neighborhood on bikes, and she was just splat. They said she jumped, but we think she was pushed. That was probably the craziest one. But I've seen a few bodies out here. Sad, like, yeah.
What kind of turn did we just fucking take?
Honestly, it's like sometimes it's so nice, right? And it's like I always play with the idea of like one day leaving, you know what I'm saying? Yep. But it's like I do love being downtown, Fall River. But sometimes it's like, what the fuck? I remember 2 years ago, like Christmas Eve, there was cops all over the place. I was home alone with my kid. And I look out the window and my neighbors are all looking at me like this, get down. I'm like, what? My buddy Johnny used to live over there. I call him, yo, what's going on? It's like, oh, 2 dudes with masks just drove by and killed the guy on the front porch. Hey, cops are kicking doors in. They're running through everyone's yards looking for this, like, avid shooter. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. So it's like things like that, they're sometimes few and far between. But it's like, dude, I don't want to live in a neighborhood like that. No. But then if everyone who's half decent leaves the neighborhoods, then you're left with only these people, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like, I'm almost like that old school, like Rambo. I'm going to be like,
like Clint Eastwood, bro. Just
yeah. Sometimes I remember like my van got broken into a couple times. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, right? So maybe 2 out of 20 years, which ain't that bad, you know. But like it would happen. I have no idea who did it, and I'd walk out in my parking lot and I'd just like stare at my neighbor's windows, like. Oh, and that's like all I would do. Just so they know. I'm like, yeah.
Meanwhile, it's nothing to do with
them.
Neighbors.
They're like, what's wrong with this guy?
Your neighbors has nothing to do with this. Thank God for the power of Ring cameras now, man. Holy shit.
Oh, I lied, actually. I got one that trumps it. It was a brother who had different fathers, same mother. And they were down at what is now Scotty's Pub, but it was Blondie's.
Yep.
And one made fun of the other one's father. The guy walked home. He got his shotgun. He walked down. The woman who used to own Star Market saw him, called 911. He came, shot his brother, blew himself. He killed himself, but the brother lived. And it was like a parade over here. They had the chalk out. Everybody was out here. I mean, everybody was out here, dude. I remember we were playing video games. My neighbor came in and she was like crying. We thought it was a parade. It was like 3:30 though. It was kind of weird. But I remember like that. Boom. We're like, yeah. It was like summertime playing Genesis, you know, and she comes in crying. Oh. Crazy, dude.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, but anyway, do you know that the Sesame Street theme song was written by a Fall River native?
No, I did not know that. Who made it?
It's Joe Raposo. Joe Raposo.
Okay.
That's his name.
I haven't heard the Sesame Street song in a while.
And he wrote the Three's Company theme song. Come on, knock on my door. You know that
Oh,
song?
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Forever. Why don't we have a Big Bird statue at Heritage Park?
Because,
Why is it always battleships and guns?
well, what else is Florida really known for? Just Battleship and Lizzie Borden. That's
Big
it.
Bird.
Big Bird's epic.
He's epic, bro. Right? Just saying.
I don't know, man.
I'd sign that petition.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it started right here. Big Bird.
I think everyone would sign that.
Put it in the
petition.
comments if y'all want to see Big Bird.
I didn't know about that. All I know that from Forever is the little man from How We Met
Hank.
Hank
Hank the Angry Dwarf.
Hank the Angry Dwarf. I don't know if you ever saw the Howard. What was it?
Howard Stern
Howard
show.
Stern show. Okay, yeah. There was a midget dwarf.
He wasn't a midget. He'd get upset. He was a dwarf.
Oh, he was a dwarf. You can't call him a midget.
No.
You know
Say
he.
Jimmy's.
Jimmy Dwarf.
But he was
Don't say it.
he was a dwarf, but he was an angry drunk dwarf, and he was really famous on the Howard Stern show.
Can I tell you a story about him?
Go ahead.
I was at
I
the,
feel like you have all the stories, man.
Dude, I've been in the city a long time. I was in the Harbor Mall.
Oh God, that's throwback, bro.
Harbor Mall. I was probably 15 years old, 14 years old. Me, my friend Sylvester, who I'm going to a concert with tonight, still a good friend of mine, and my friend Jay Gill used to live up the street. So we're at the mall, and it was Christmas time. We're in the middle of the mall. Mrs. Corey would play piano with her husband, and you would call in like a telethon, you donate, and they'd sing these carols. This guy comes up to us, you know, he was like a Forever guy, and he had Hank with him. We had no idea who he was. This was before Howard Stern. I had no idea who this dwarf was, you know. He's like, oh, you guys want to see something cool? Well, like, of course. He's like, watch this. Goes to the payphone that used to be near the McDonald's that you walk in on the main entrance.
I remember.
The man makes a phone call. We have no idea what's going on. He hangs up. He goes, come on. We go over to the piano where Miss Corey is playing piano. She says, oh, we have a request. We're going to play Little Drummer Boy. Starts playing Little Drummer Boy. Hank runs in the middle of the thing, and he just starts singing, clapping on the TV. I mean, this was like televised and everything, you know, and they can't just shoo him off because he's like a dwarf, you know. It's like all off the cuff. I was like, this is epic, dude. And it was like probably 6 months later where he was like famous, and I was like, I can see why, you know. Dude, you know, they drove him to New York, a couple Forever guys in the morning. They were like drinking. They're like, you know what? We're fucking taking you to the Howard Stern show. And they just drove up to New York City with him, drank the whole way up, went to the office and said, he wants to talk to Howard. And they called Howard and were like, there's a drunken fucking midget in the lobby. And he was like, send him up. And that was like,
That's pretty much how it all started.
See, Forever, all you gotta do is go, man.
You just gotta drink some.
Drink
and that's
some,
It, man.
yeah.
'Cause there's some characters over here.
Oh, I know which road we're going down now to Forever celebrities.
Yeah.
Jay
Celebrity-
Gumby.
Jay Gumby, Chinless John.
Chinless John. You know, my era, we used to call him No Chin Charlie.
Oh, really?
But his name's John, but the ch-ch sounded good, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, you had him, and then you had Jay Gumby, who is still walking around to these, you know, minor league games and all that shit.
Yeah, you
so.
can catch him in the wild.
Yeah, I caught him a few times.
Yeah. It's Chinless John's gone, right?
I think so. I heard that he passed away.
Man, it's too bad. Rest in peace.
Yeah, but Jay Gumby, he's still around. I see him. I see him all the time wearing the green cowboy hat. You know, yeah, it's really not that. And I think Gabe's actually really good friends with him. He sees
Nice.
him all the time.
Gabe, how do you feel about him? Is he scary
Hey,
a
come
little
on the
bit?
camera. Come on the camera. Say hi to everybody.
Is he a little scarier?
Come here. Right here.
This is Gabe right here.
This
ladies
is
and
Gabe,
gentlemen.
guys. This is our
Shout out
photographer,
to
Gabe.
the photographer.
Go
How
ahead.
do you feel about Jay?
How do you feel about Jay
Listen,
Gumby?
this is televised, right? So he's like, man.
I feel like he's not that bad.
All right.
Everybody hates him at the park because they think it's scary. He looks like a crackhead. And honestly, for me, I think he just walks around. He says he walks like 50 miles a day. Comes from like Westport all the way Forever, all the way to Dartmouth. He's
not bad. All right.
He's not bad.
All right,
I don't
good.
think he's that bad.
Good. All right. So we got a good review.
We got a review.
Jay Gumby, you're
Jay
making
Gumby,
some
you got a good
fans
review.
out there. We
Don't-
got a good review.
Jay Gumby, do not fuck up this
Don't
review
mess
right
that
now.
up because you're bringing us down with us. We're vouching
All right,
for
Gabe.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe. ladies and
Exit,
gentlemen.
exit stage right, please.
Hey, there's the head of fire, yo.
Not in front of the shot.
It's all right. It's all right.
But
Nice.
yeah, dude, follow celebrities that are just famous for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But fuck this. I'm gonna say one thing real quick, and I already forgot it, so fuck it. So, plumber, musician, and now a real estate guy.
Oh,
Easy, cowboy. Easy, cowboy. But now you're a real estate guy, I heard,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it took a
So-
long time.
So how'd that fucking come about?
Oh, man. I went to the Azores when I was in my early 20s and fell in love with it. It was the first time I had gone. Like, my parents were from there, but I didn't get to go there until I was an adult, which I think was a blessing because a lot of, like, the kids I know, they went and stood with their aunts and uncles and had that experience and were like, they didn't have fun.
They didn't have fun.
There you go. So you
I
get
was
it.
not.
You know, so I'm 22 at the time. I go with my single buddy and his rich dad, and we had a blast, you know? So I come home and my mind was set. So yeah, you know, I instantly was like, I need to find, you know, and it was always like back then, it was like, you could buy something out there for like 20 grand. You know, it was like all these stories. And I was like, oh, how do you do it? And it was like these baby steps, got my citizenship, started doing all these things. And then real estate out here had just been so far gone, right? The prices. So it was like, I just took a leap. We bought a property, my partner and I. Took forever, found the crazy stories, honestly. Like, I'm a spiritual dude. I believe things happen for a reason, like when they say it.
Yeah.
So we were like struggling to find someone to fix this home for us. We were in November, my business partner and I went out there, tried to make some moves happen, and we came back home like real disappointed. It just wasn't a good trip. December, my friend comes over to exchange gifts with my kid. He proceeds to tell me a story of how his cousin, who lives in Toronto, just married this guy from the Azores. They've been together for like 7-8 years. But when he went to get his Canadian citizenship, they basically like unearthed some stuff, like minor shit from back home that basically screwed him. He had to like go back home. Not deported, but they were like, you're going to waste a lot of time and energy here. If you just go back home and sort everything out, then you can transition back over. He's telling me this story and he's like, the guy doesn't know what he's going to do. I'm like, that sucks, bro. That's crazy, you know? And I'm like, well, what's he do? You know, he's like, oh, he fixes houses, you know, he's a contractor. I'm like, dude. I was like, I need someone. I'm like, dude, like, honestly, like, he can go there and like start like right away, like, as long as he's fair. You know, he's like, nah, dude, I seen his work. And my buddy Scotty, I've known him like since we were like 5-year-olds. If he vouches for somebody, I know it's legit. Yeah. And he was like, nah, dude, the guy's in my family, solid guy. The guy went there, we FaceTimed, we started working on numbers, and within 9 months, the house was renovated, done, like ready to furnish. It was crazy, bro. It was like one of the craziest experiences of my life.
So this was recent though, right?
Yeah, this was February of 24 is when we started the project.
Yeah, nice. So you bought a house in February of 24?
No, we bought the house in 2019.
Oh, wow. So
pre-COVID.
No kidding.
So they were people living it prior to us buying it. I mean, it wasn't in conditions that like I would be like. It
wasn't like condemned or anything like that.
No, right? There was a family in it. It was livable. Like we could have went right away and had running plumbing, electric, and all of that. Yeah. But as the years went by and we weren't proactive, then COVID hit. Like all the weather just really beat the shit out of the home. The roof had to go. Basically, the whole thing was kind of. It was so weird because we wanted to build on land. We had a deal going with an architect, but we're still working on it. It was such an arduous process that we basically shifted gears. Turned the sails and said, let's fix the small house up there. Yeah. Then we couldn't find someone to fix it. Right. Man, I'll tell anybody and anyone who knows that's been doing work out there, it is difficult. But to me, I'm like, the government and the people kind of complain about their lack of money or lack of opportunity. And then I see like, and nothing wrong with like,
we're keeping this bit.
So sorry. Yeah, my uncle. It's probably.
I kind of wish he didn't come through. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't, can he come through? And then you're gonna have to move that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna
who cares? Yeah, he can come through.
Mitzi, come on, come here. Come on. My Uncle Louie, ladies and gentlemen, coming through, hard-working Azorian right here. He's the one who helps take care of this beautiful grapevine. Nah, Mitzi. No, this side. This side. I'll go to Dish High. Go. All right. Bye. Nice. Thank you. They keep the culture, ladies and gentlemen. We keep the culture around here.
It's good to have family around here.
Yeah. So I get the house out there now. He can go out there with my mom. I bought a moped, like a scooter out there, motorized scooter. So we always joke that we're gonna get him out there on it and everything,
Scooters are great out there.
I'd never rode on 2 wheels in my life, and something said, you know what, you're gonna go get a scooter. I got a 125, right? That was the size. Eric Pont was out there with me. I'm watching like YouTube videos. I have friends who own motorcycles that are like, bro, you should probably like take lessons, dude. And I'm like, and I'm watching like videos. They're like, you could do it, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. But I bought it in Punta Delgada, and I'm in Nordeste. That's like a 45-minute ride. I've never even been on 2 wheels. I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna. So my friend Louis out there, and he had some friends, they brought it down for me. I go the next day to learn it. Me and Eric, my house that I was going to buy, there's like a driveway like this. This thing's like probably like a 30-degree angle, yeah, you know? And I'm thinking I can like walk this bike up. I didn't realize like, no, you can't. You got to hit the gas, you know? So I'm like in between hitting like too much gas and not enough. This thing's like rolling back. I'm like almost falling. I finally boost it. I almost like hit a wall. Dude, it was like, it's been the first time I've been like, I won't say like afraid, but like truly felt like alive in a long time, bro. My heart was like up to my neck, dude. Twice I almost like wiped out, but I did it. I rode for like 45 minutes. It started like raining a bit. I brought the thing back. I took off my helmet and I was like, wow, bro, like I did that shit. Bro. I'm like that, bro. If I have a fear of something, like I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I gotta do it. You know what I mean?
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, not like obviously something that's gonna kill you. Like I'm not like I'm gonna scale a 40-foot building, you know. But like,
what about jumping out of a plane? Would you do that?
I would do it.
Yeah,
I would do it.
Have you done it? You haven't done it.
I haven't done it, but like I would do it if I was somewhere where like I felt it was reputable. Not like if I'm like in like, you know, vacation Costa Rica and I'm nah, it's got to be like Newport. I got to look it up, see the reviews, make sure this company's been around 20 years. Then I'll do it.
20 years. Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Most of the people survive
Yeah.
afterwards,
All that good. Yeah, you know the important stuff.
Oh man, but yeah. So why did you want like have a house? Because like I get it, the market here kind of sucks. Like especially to like at least you can go maybe New Hampshire, Vermont. You can get Airbnbs out there, but the market here is just horrible in America. What was like your thought process of like I really wanted to do this? What was like your thought process going in? Like, was there a motive or not really?
Yeah, I mean, I got this like little metaphor I used that like when we were in school, we used to have fire drills, right? Now, does that mean that they thought the school was going to burn down? No, but they wanted to make sure you were prepared that if the school ever caught on fire. So like, I feel like if my country ever catches on fire, I want my dual citizenship, a home out there that I can transition my family fairly safe to a place that we can get by. Not that I would want that to happen, but it's almost like like a little safety plan.
A safety net, yeah.
Yeah, and I love it out there, honestly. Like the culture out there, it's
so
just
different.
I've been reading history on it. Like I've really been, every day that goes by, I meet more people out there, whether it's online or when I go there. I just like the way they handle themselves, the culture.
The culture. That's
It's amazing,
that's what it's about.
I've always said if Portugal played USA in a World Cup final, like I'm rooting for Portugal. Like, sorry. Like I was born here, but like it's just, I'm more Portuguese than I'm American. I truly feel. Sorry, like America, like it's just how I feel. That's how I feel. Yeah, I have friends sometimes we debate things and they're like, oh, so you'd like run away, you'd leave. I'm like, bro, not for nothing. I don't know this country shit. I paid my taxes ever since I worked. Like I've done my deed. If I want to go, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And, like people are like, oh, you should just dig behind and fix it. I'm like, bro, if it's on fire, I'm fucking out. All right. You know what I'm saying? I'm strap on my mom, whoever fits on my back, and we're out of here. Whoever don't want to go.
You're like, I'm a plumber, not a firefighter.
Yeah, exactly. Can't save everybody.
I put water together, not use it to take out fires.
But yeah, no, it's awesome, bro. I love it. I love researching it. I love going out there. Like I said, meeting the people. It took a little while. Like I felt they were kind of like gatekeeping and bringing me back to what I was saying before my uncle came, is that I feel like they don't want us there in a sense where they think we're going to ruin the island. But what I think they don't understand is like and nothing wrong with Germans or the Chinese. There's nothing wrong with big banks. Actually, yes, there is. Fuck them. But, for them to go in and buy this all up, they're going to transform the island into something we no longer recognize. Like, not us. Like, we love the culture. We understand the culture. If they were a little more open arms into letting like the Luso-Americans like come back in and invest and be part of what the island is going to become, because it's inevitable. You can't keep it the way it is. It's already changing. So why not let us back in? And like I said, there's some gatekeepy stuff. They're resisting. I get it, but there's got to be something different. There's got to be a way that we can work together. There's a lot of us who want to go back. There's a lot of us who love it. And they need to like allow us to kind of come and help us and more with open arms and be friendly, knowing that, like I said, we love the culture. We want to reconnect. We eat their food. We're going to go shopping at their stores. We're going to eat at their restaurants. So
I get that.
You're not trying to just go there and like Americanize it.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And that sounds like that's what their fear is.
Perhaps. They don't want to be Hawaii, right? They don't want to big resorts and everything.
Yeah, I think because in Ponta Delgada, there's that new casino that they have over there now. So I can understand why locals could have the fear of Americanizing it. My wife says it all the time too. It's like, these people are posting Ponta Delgada, Azores on TikTok, and people are really liking it. Now they're going to go over there and ruin the island. Half of me, I'm 50-50. Half of me understands, like, okay, yeah, like, people are trying to Americanize it. The culture might, kind of turn away. Definitely not the small towns that surround Ponta Delgada, but the big city as a whole, yeah. But then the other half of me is like, this is actually great for their economy. They're bringing in money. They're bringing in revenue. You know, like some people don't still really understand that. Maybe they're just like hell bent, like they're destroying my island. It's like perhaps, but now you're getting a lot more opportunity, more jobs, more revenue, all that. So I'm 50-50 with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how.
It's a tough line to toe.
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
think I have some sort of a resolution that I think they'd be happy with, honestly. Look, like I said, I think about this stuff a lot. What I would do is I would think that anyone who is not a citizen, who doesn't have their citizenship, should have to pay to use the beaches, should have to pay to camp, just like we do here in the States, right? I see all the time, you go up Sets of Dodge, these people are setting up tents, they're sleeping there a whole weekend for free, or you're going to all these beaches for free. I think the residents should have a resident card where it's free for them. And then all that money they accumulate from the tourists that goes to this should be spread amongst the citizens. Then they'd be happy with the tourists because their pockets would be fattening and they still would be getting into the beaches free. They still would have the beauty of the island at no cost, but everyone who's not a citizen should have to pay. Like I pay $20 to go to like Horse Neck.
Yeah.
Horse shit, by the way.
Right?
Not horse neck, horse shit.
You know?
Fuck that.
Or parking over here like on Pleasant Street for like half a day. You're paying like $10 or whatever it is, you know? And it's like everything there is free. I'm like, dude, you guys gotta, charge a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that, but make it free for them. I get it. They don't make as much. I think they make like $800 a month or something like that.
Yeah, they only get paid. I found this out when I went to the Azores for the first time. They only get paid once a month out there. And like we make in a week, they make in a month. And I think the top careers there is doctor, lawyer, obviously those.
Probably teacher too or something. Good money, I think, out there.
Masonaries make really good money out there too, depending on what you do. And the whole island is just full of masonaries, you know what I mean? So
so that means everything else is cheaper there too. I've never looked into real estate or anything out there. It matches kind of what they make.
It's going up, and that's their concern, is that what they make isn't enough to sustain these homes and now mortgages and rents. It's becoming a big Airbnb. So they're forced to leave, right? They're forced to go to Bermuda or Toronto or to these other places where they can get work and live. But here they can't afford a home at 200,000 euros, making 800 a month. Right. So, but other people can, people like us, we see 200 for a beautiful home on an ocean cliff, and we're all over that. And they get upset. It's like, well, you have to understand, a home for me here, it's almost 600 grand for something I might not even be happy with. But I can get a house near a beach or something for 200.
Kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so happy you made that move because...
hey, mi casa su casa. Whenever you want, bro. You let me know. We'll get you out there. You can ride the scooter too.
Hey! At least I won't whiskey throttle it like you.
Yeah. You never know. Those hills are dangerous.
Oh, man.
I say part 2 of this podcast, we film it over there.
That'd be dope. Yeah, a little...
In the
Azorian
Airbnb?
edition. In the
Fucking why
Airbnb
not,
on
dude?
my field. So we're renting out, right now, we're waiting on this process to be finished with the architect to build new homes. But we're letting someone lease the land so we can, farm it. So, every time I get photos from, my host, the Airbnb, the property manager, it's always there's cows down there, And I'm like...
Genius.
Dude, I get so happy. Someone's drinking milk from grass that cow ate. That's mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those little things, man. It's
So you're definitely open to having more Airbnb properties?
I want to blend in with the island a bit where I don't want to necessarily just do that. No, honestly, if I were to build another home, I would again, to get in with the government and put a family in maybe for the first 3 to 5 years, work out some sort of deal where if the government assists, I don't know how that kind of works, but there's a housing crisis out there. So I would like to help where I want them to look at me and be like, this guy's helpful. This guy came in here and he's not just going in hey, beat feet and just renting all this stuff out to make profits. No, not really. A little bit of everything. I want it to generate money so it's not a loss for me, but I also want them to know, I want them to be my cleaners for the house. So I want to put them involved as however they can and build a team where we're providing some small economy, just a little sliver of what I could do. Or my friends, if it goes well for me, and then you're hey, I'd like to do something like that out there. Or I said, if the government's open to that, and they're well, we got this wave. You could bring in millions over there if just all the Portuguese people we know would want to kind of own something out there, and they made it and facilitated it to make it easier. They could really do some things out there in connection with us. And I think there's a lot of us that would like to provide housing for them, or would like to open a new restaurant for them, or a nice coffee place. Dude, there's things in Nordeste. I'm there's no gym.
There's nothing in Nordeste, by the way.
You can't get a nice coffee in Nordeste.
No.
So being an American, I'm man, if I was not retired, or if I just needed a new venture, I'm dude, I would just try a nice coffee place. All right, open a laundromat. Just the things we have here that we take for granted that just aren't there.
Yeah. Even just the idea of a gym, that's insane. That not to have a gym in a city, you know.
Ah, dude, they're working on the fields all day though. That's a
That's
gym. That's a
gym
gym.
session.
Well, I understand. Like, you know, more creating that different opportunity for them. Like, dude, I love my parents. My parents were born and raised in Nordeste, and they came to America. Nordeste has nothing. It has nothing going on over there. It's just it's just a farm town, you
It's
know.
beautiful.
It's
scenic,
gorgeous.
natural
No,
wonder.
all right, hang on. I'll take it back. I don't mean anything negative by it when I say there's nothing to do over there. It's beautiful. There's like that cliff, that ocean view. Like if you go dumbass early in the morning, you get to see like the most beautiful sunrise of all time. Probably just gave it away, but it's all good. But like in terms of like doing anything like recreational, there's really nothing. You know, maybe a bar.
Hey, give me a concert hall. Give me an amusement park. Give me
I don't
a
know about
water
an
slide
amusement park.
Small, for the kids, you know.
For the kids?
You know, it's just
Maybe
give me
like a
bowling
park.
alley. Give me a Top Golf.
All right.
It doesn't have to be named Top Golf. It could be in their own way, maybe a little smaller, but something that tourists are like, okay, we just walked and watched and saw this crazy lake and all of this, but now we can go eat a nice steak and go watch a concert,
100%.
right? Without it being like a feast or festival, like just like theaters and just, I don't know, things maybe I'm used to. Like I'm going to Narrows to go see a show, but like when I'm out there, like he's saying, after 8 o'clock, you're not eating. There's like a pizza, like a microwave pizza place, maybe like this guy makes flatbreads
Yeah.
down in the city, but it's like, dude, I'm in Portugal. I should be able to get, like, this is a tourist attraction. Like, you guys need to be open till like 11 at night serving these tourists some food.
Let me get some Portuguese steak with the oove and the
Yeah,
the
11 at night. I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
You know, when you're on your cruise at 2 in the morning, you can get room service. You know, I can't order a pizza to my house. It's just a tourist in Hawaii. I guarantee you, at 11 at night, I can get some chicken wings. I would think, unless you're like remote, but in the city, like, you know what I'm
At
saying?
least in the city.
Oh, dude, they're so awesome out there. You go and it's like dinner time and no one's open. And it's like their hours are there. Oh, like lunchtime.
Oh,
they're like, no, we're on our lunch.
European hours are so different. European hours are so different. Like they'll have dinner at like what 9?
Yeah, everyone's out. Little kids. It's just
Everybody.
like church time, like 9
Yeah.
to 11.
Oh man, I love
Smoking butts in the restaurants.
classic casual too. Like 11 p.m. beers, like no big deal, dude.
Took a taxi with my 2-year-old, 3-year-old at the time. Threw her right in the back seat. No car seat, nothing. Get in there. You want to pee? Pee at the gas station. Right at the pump. Just like this, like raw freedom of like, hey, don't be a jackass, but like do what you want.
It's cool because like I remember one time I was just walking I was in some town, I forgot the name of it, but I was just walking around and I had a beer in my hand and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta fucking put this back. And then because I thought I was like, American laws, I was still thinking that, and I'm like, I started to go around and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, they don't give a fuck around here, and I proceeded to drink it and I'm like, yeah, nobody gives a fuck. There's like 3 drunk dudes on the side of the road. Yeah, the freedom. Man, that's what America needs sometimes, you know what I mean?
You brought up the casino before I left. I think they closed at 1. It was like 10 of 1. I leave. And I get out, and like typically if I was in Vegas or Fall River Tiverton Casino, anywhere like at 1 in the morning, stepping out with some money in my pocket, I typically, you're looking over your shoulder, you're checking the scenery a bit, and like, I was like, I am so safe right now. Like there isn't a bear out there. There isn't a poisonous snake. There isn't like really crime. It's like, there's not many places like that. Hopefully it doesn't change that are like that. You know, you could pull over the side of the road and take a nap. Like no one's gonna like, you wouldn't do that on 195 right now. Like, I'm tired and buzzed out. Let me just take a nap. Like there, you could just do it. And if a cop even were to show up, like, you all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Just gotta sleep. All right. Make sure you're off the side of the road. No one hits you. It's like, it's just different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Holy shit. It's weird how, like, because I've been to European countries like that too. And they're just like, you can leave. I remember one time I did a tour of Switzerland.
Nice.
And the tour guide was over there. He's like, I lost my wallet. I left it on top of a coffee shop table. Obviously he was like freaking out the next morning, couldn't find it and everything like that. He went back to the same coffee shop. It was still in the same position. How crazy is that? You know what I mean?
Wouldn't happen in America.
No, dude, because like we're so accustomed to crime and like watching our backs and everything like that. Dumbasses doing wheelies. And, it's like, it's just crazy when you go to a whole different country, like you feel safe, And that's one of the great things I love about the Azores. Like, I don't have to worry about shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about nothing.
We were at a restaurant down by the marina, my fiance and my child, and I had lapish. Lapish, right? Love those out there. Everywhere I go, I eat them, right? And an older gentleman, guy was probably in his early 70s, he's walked by and he goes, well, what is that? Right off the bat, I think in America, typically a stranger wouldn't ask you what it is you're eating. So I was like, oh, it's they're called limpets, right? Limpets or something. He says, try one, and the guy's like, oh, you don't mind? Not at all. Guy grabbed one off my plate. He ate it. It's like, that's amazing. I'm going to get my friends. We're going to come back and eat. You know? And it's all processed through my mind quick. And I'm like, there was like 3 things. I'm like, in America, no one really, a stranger, would ask me like what it is I'm eating unless, very rare. Secondly, I probably wouldn't offer this stranger to eat off my plate.
You're like, I don't know where their hands have been.
Thirdly, they probably wouldn't grab the food from my plate. And this all happened like so nonchalant, so like what it's supposed to be, like effortlessly. He came back and come to find out this guy's like sailing around the Canary Islands with a captain and he's some rich dude with a bunch of people. They're like Swiss. And I was like, that's awesome. His story was awesome. But it was like just that feeling of like, just being open to people, man. Everyone you talk to there is willing to tell you their story. Like you can sit with them for an hour and they're willing to talk and like, it's like, be human, man. You know?
Yeah,
we're missing that.
Yeah, I feel like in America, it's so much about just like productivity and getting shit done. And like, I don't know if you guys have been to New York or even lately. Like last time I went to New York, man, you walk by people on the road, it's just like their eyes are just straightforward. You don't exist. You could fall on the side of the road, like be having like a stroke or a heart attack. It's just people are doing what they're doing. Whereas in other parts, other countries like Azores, is like people actually stop, they have time, and obviously we have a lot of money here, but we don't have a lot of connection,
Yeah, the disconnect.
It's kind of a trade-off almost.
It's kind of sad. It really is. And it's like this yearning I've been feeling as I get older to like get some of that back, man. I was born here, so I don't, but even inside, like, bro, there's something inside being human. Like you're saying, like, can I just sit under the stars and talk about them without worrying about having to get up tomorrow and satisfy 100 people at once? Like, man, you know what I mean? Like those simple things, like literally. It's crazy. And
yeah, because I remember going into like cafes and shit like that, and because like Dunkin', for example, you know what I mean? Dunkin's like fast paced, go 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 go. Do coffee shops, they take their time. You could actually enjoy a coffee. And then what the best thing is? Here restaurants here in America, they like, okay, here's your check,
20%.
That they bring you the check and they're like, okay, yeah, no rush. But then I see out of the corner of my eye, they just keep on watching my table. They're like, okay, you gonna pay now or what? There, you ask for it. When you're ready, you ask for the check. I would go like this.
Yeah. Got some.
I'd be like, excuse me.
Yeah, you're right. It took me a while to realize that. Like he's saying, like here in America, before your drink's finished, right? They want the tips, so they're on top of you. They want to give you more. There, they don't get tips, so they have this kind of like lackadaisicalness about them. So it's like you said, your beer could be done for like 10 minutes, and you're getting frustrated. Back when I was a drinker, right? And then I realized, like, all you really got to do is like snap your fingers. Like here, we think it's rude, but there, it's like you're right. You're like, hey, another beer, and they bring you right over.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like that's what it is. Like, yeah, when you want it, you just, hey, can I bring some bread?
Right.
Hey, get some cheese. Wait, here it's like we're waiting. Like, damn, can this guy bring me my soda? Oh, I forgot my soda. And we're just waiting for them to hopefully
And then
see us.
if you try to like do the same thing here in America, they scrutinize it like
You're rude.
Yeah.
Everything's backwards there. When I got there was black cats all in this place we were staying. And I was like, oh, that's bad luck. They're like, what? No, it's not. Black cats take all the bad luck away. Black cats are like good omens. I'm like, it's crazy.
We've been lied to. We've been lied to.
It's upside down over here.
I'm really excited because I know that I think next year I'm gonna have to book that house.
Dude.
My wife's very excited.
Yeah, man.
So and maybe we'll book two scooters. At
You
the
better
same time.
5-star review that.
Oh, dude. You already know, Couto. You already
man,
know.
yeah.
All right, so I want to actually do a new thing that on this podcast now. I want to do a lightning round questions. 10 random questions off the top. First thing that comes to your head, all right?
I like it.
And I'm using my telephone. Okay.
Word up.
Because I don't have flashcards, Next time I'll get flashcards like Dr. Phil and shit like that. All right, ready? All right, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
First thing I do when I wake up is I go to the King's Throne.
I thought you were going to say the King's Inn.
No, I go to that. No. I go to the King's Throne. I doom scroll through my phone, through emails, get kind of caught up real quick. Then do your typical brush teeth, get dressed, and get geared up for work.
All right. What's a song that you can always put on repeat?
A song I could always put on repeat. I'm going to go with Ride Like the Wind from Christopher Cross.
Okay. Never heard of it.
When you leave here, put it on, you'll be like, I see what he means.
What's the best smell on a job site?
The best smell on a job site is rotted drainage because it means money.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that. I like that.
That's the smell of money.
What's a Portuguese word you say too much, and then also say that same Portuguese word?
In English?
You can say it in Portuguese and English.
All right. Oh, man. I like the word zinrasca.
Okay.
Zinrasket. But I think it means like figure it out on your
Okay.
own kind of thing. Right, get it done. Yeah, zinrasket.
What's yours?
Favorite Portuguese word?
Yeah.
Probably pusa.
Pupsa. That's a good one. That's a good one. How about you?
Oh man.
You're on your own spot now.
Yeah, this is not lighting around for me, but I think porra was like, you know.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, you know.
good one, yeah.
Porra. Like that. But you got to add some flavor to it.
Yeah.
You can't be like porra.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
like my father-in-law, he's like, when he watches Benfica,
Put the flair.
he gets mad funny too. What? Like, hold this. He does stupid shit like this. He's like,
yeah.
I love him though. I
the
love him
spirit
so
just
much.
leaving his body.
Dude, yeah, 100%. All right. What's the number one tool that you would always have?
Lately it's been my angle grinder.
Ooh,
Milwaukee
okay.
angle grinder with a metal cutting wheel on it.
Metal.
Yep, so I can cut my cast, get in these nice tight
Perfect
spots.
slight. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. One food that you can eat every day for the rest of your life.
Come on, man, hit me with that.
Hey, we'll leave it out of Twitter.
Listen, I don't want to say
Portuguese
what
dish.
everyone else says because I
What-
know everybody says a Portuguese steak or a bifana.
That's me.
I'll go with a bifana, bro. Yeah,
All day?
bifana with the pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right. What's your worst habit that you're holding on to now?
Oh boy, I chew the inside of my mouth all the time, like bad until it gets like almost like raw, and then I tell myself stop, and then like 30 seconds later I'm doing it again. Yeah, it's terrible.
You never took chewing tobacco, right?
No, dude, I did a Zyn. Like I went to Red Sox opening day. Oh my god, I almost died, bro. Dude, I don't know how these people do it, dude. I got like cold sweats, bro. I had to go outside. I thought I was gonna faint.
When you take a Zyn for the first time, that's how it goes.
Last time. First and last time.
You have to start with like 3 milligrams and then work your way up.
So whenever you're talking milligrams, bro, I'm out.
What's one place in the world that you want to visit really bad?
Oh man, lately it's been Tokyo.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I actually want to do like a Japanese tea ceremony at my house.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been like looking into it because I've been like drinking tea, and I'm like, yo, I looked into like how they do it in the whole ceremony. I'm like, yo, I want to do that. I'm weird, dude.
Damn. That's interesting.
Yeah, you guys can come by, man. We'll do it.
You have
Japanese
to be on
tea
your
ceremony.
knees, though, right?
Yeah, and then it's like you put the guest of honor in a certain spot. There's like a few things.
What if you have
like,
2 guests, though?
Yeah, I got to look into it more. I don't want to say things that are wrong. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's where I'd like to go.
If you had a dream collaboration with any music artist, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive, yeah.
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with Tupac.
Tupac.
Machiavelli.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Machiavelli.
Hell yeah. Let's see. What's your go-to late night snack? Midnight munchies, you know what I mean?
Man, we get a lot of DoorDash, so normally it's some leftovers. Cause I'm not a really big snack guy, but I tell you what. All right, I'll tell you. If my fiance makes the mistake of leaving Chips Ahoy or Oreos in a cabinet, I'm eating a sleeve with a glass of milk. Like walk out of the bathroom, go to the fridge, half sleeping, pour a little glass of milk, pull out a sleeve, and like probably pound 4 to 8 of them before I go to bed. Like,
Dang. Are you double stuffed kind of guy?
nah,
For
I'm
the
pretty
Oreos?
basic, man. I go
Yeah?
classic
can't.
Chips Ahoy, classic Oreo, man.
I can't do the classic Oreo. Not enough filling. You know what I mean?
All right. You really like? I thought you said you don't do with the fillings with the donuts, but you do with the fillings with the Oreo.
It's different.
Double
different.
standards over
Double-
here.
yeah.
No,
Talking about hypocritical.
All right, and so if you had to choose one for the rest of your life, plumbing, music, or real estate?
Shit. All right, if it could be in the Azores, I'm going real estate.
Okay. What about here in America?
No way, I'm out. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to deal with the people here. I don't want to deal with the
Especially here.
personalities. Yeah. Maybe like if it was like, yeah, like if I could get into some sort of like glamping in Vermont or like something kind of cool experience wise, get a partner, do something like that. But as far as like tenement house, like owner or like buying and flipping and having to do the work in the home, I don't want to do it. The competition's too fierce, I feel, in America right now.
Hell yeah, I totally agree with that. Brian, we're at the end of our podcast right now,
We
buddy.
did it. Hey, this is my first, I think, podcast. Legit one.
Oh, would you say it's too legit?
It's too legit. It's too legit. Where, you know, you guys actually respected me, reached out to me. It was awesome. I wasn't expecting it. Big shout out to these two guys doing what they do. It's big for the city. It's big for the culture. It's big for just people like me to give us a platform to speak on the trade in itself, to make it alluring, to bring new people in, like he said, which we need because the infrastructure in this country's falling apart. But without you guys, man, this shit wouldn't be going down right here in my backyard. So I really appreciate it.
No, without you, this shit would never happen, man.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean? Brian, we want to thank you. You know, you have been a tremendous guest.
Thank you.
I am going to rent out probably a month over at the Airbnb.
We got it. We got you.
And yeah, Jesus Christ. This is a con when you record outside. People don't give a fuck about a podcast.
No, they don't know.
They don't know. It's all good. Guys, I'm Tiago. This has been Alex. This has been Couto. And we'll see you guys next time.